Hi, I'm Doug Irvin from Aldridge Residential Property Team, and welcome to another very special episode of Property Particulars Podcast. Now, my guest today is somebody not from Aldridge, so we're branching out a little bit. My guest is an estate agent who is currently with Harding Green. She has previously worked at two major London developments and also a little spell in New York. I have known her for about 10 years. Katherine Wilson, welcome to Property Particulars Podcast.
Thank you so much, Doug.
How are you today?
I am so excited to be here. You know, I've always wanted to be on a podcast.
Well, there we go.
Here
You've come to the best one to
My
start.
My moment has come. I've made it.
Exactly. Listen, it'll all be fine. We're going to have a lovely chat.
Yes.
But first of all, Harding Green, where you are now.
Yes.
How long have you been there? Tell me a little bit about them.
Wow. Okay. So Harding Green is like a broker model agency. So as you know, I've got a lot of experience in property. I've been doing this for 17 years, but the majority of my experience was working for two big developers in London. But when I moved back from the States, which I'm sure we'll get to, I decided I wanted to be back on the front line. I wanted to be back dealing with clients directly. And because of my experience in New York and working with all these incredible brokers, I suddenly thought, okay, this is actually something that I should be considering now I'm back in London.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Nick Carter, who is the CEO of Harding Green, set it up 8 years ago. He actually used to be my boss in Chesterton's, going back, what, 15 years?
Right.
Maybe, 12 years. Anyway, a long time. So he reached out to me and he said, I'd love to hear about your American experience, your time in New York. And, have you considered setting up something of your own here under Harding Green? So that's what I did. I set up the company in October last year and haven't really looked back. It's incredible. It's a fantastic company. There's, I think, 65 of us now.
Wow.
And so it allows us to be, on the front line, doing what we do best, working with people, selling property, and all the back-end business stuff is dealt with in-house.
Yeah.
So they have a fantastic lettings team, they have the management team, they have the support team, all the admin. So anything kind of boring that generally salespeople aren't that great at, compliance being one.
Of course.
AML checks, contracts, all those things are dealt with back of house. Right. And it means that we can be doing what we do best, which is out there meeting clients and selling property.
And so, linking that back to your experience in New York then, because it's a relatively new kind of system that I'm seeing with agents in the UK. But I am seeing more and more moving to models like that.
Yes.
And so was it because of that experience you had that you thought I'm gonna look into this more?
It is, and I'd never even considered doing this before.
Okay.
I kind of thought in my mind that if you're working for a developer and you're a head of sales, you've made it. And in a lot of ways you have, but what those roles were lacking for me is the kind of frontline, interaction with people. Sitting in the head office is great, but actually I wanted to be out and about with people. I wanted a varied day. I realized that actually managing is fantastic and I love managing people, but actually I'm a salesperson at heart.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to be back doing that.
Okay.
So this enables me to do all those things. And also because it's my own business, I can be very creative and I can, put out my social media as I want it. There's no restrictions and we can just, run our businesses the way that we want to run them.
Okay. And do you think as well, as we get through our career, a little bit older, I mean, I can't believe you've said you've got 17 years experience, but also you're a mom.
I know.
So the flexibility?
Oh, the juggle is real.
Yeah.
And I've got some colleagues and we chat. It's fantastic because as I said, there's 65 of us. So there's a lot of mums in there who have had this incredible property experience, but don't want to be governed by sitting at a desk, 9 to 6, and being told you have to, be there and make a certain number of calls. There are people out there with incredible experience, but they need to be able to juggle family life.
Yeah.
And that's what this model has enabled me to do. So I was laughing earlier with you that Saturday I had 16 viewings, and I ran off, did some viewings, ran back, made the kids some lunch, ran out again, did a few more, came back, gave them a hug, watched some Peppa Pig, ran out
Amazing.
again. So, you know, there is no other role that I could do that gives me that flexibility.
Yeah, that's good. And you're concentrating to begin with around the area where you live, yeah?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
Clapham.
So you can,
Yes.
so even more so you can nip in and out
Oh, it's
and
fantastic.
do things out of hours as well if that
Yes.
suits you better.
So I've had a couple of instructions on my road. So I literally just like I put on a work outfit, I run across the road, I do a viewing, then I run back and put my leggings back on, you know,
Yes.
and then put the kids to bed, and it's fantastic.
Yeah,
It works so
amazing.
well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that New York experience. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember when you told me suddenly you were moving to New York.
Yes.
And how long were you there in total? You didn't work the whole time, but how did
No,
the
so-
property experience come about there?
So my husband was offered this job in New York, and you know, who says no to New York?
Exactly.
You know, so at the time I was pregnant with my little one, and it was all quite a lot, and we were still during kind of the end of COVID, so the
Yeah.
visa took some time to come through, thank goodness, because I needed that time to obviously have my child, and we moved out there with 2 young children, 18-month-old and a 3-month-old.
Oh, goodness.
And it was a lot. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was a lot. You know, husband went straight off to work. I was like, okay, bye. Okay, now what?
Yeah, you're now in a strange city
Yes,
with
and it was
2 young kids under 3.
yeah, under 2.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it was -8 outside, and we were in some managed apartments, and I genuinely thought, oh my goodness, what have I done?
Yeah.
And there was a huge transition time for me, but I decided I wanted to make the most of this time that I had, and it was a one-off opportunity. So I got my license, and that, you know, was a lot of work actually. It's kind of
Is that exams, is it?
Yes. Oh,
right.
yes. I
Yeah,
had
okay.
exams. Yeah. The book was this thick. While looking after the kids, I studied and I got my exam. And then I actually just reached out to Kirsten Jordan on Instagram. So she was the first female broker on $1 Million Listing New York.
Wow.
So I'd been binge watching shows.
Yeah, obs, we all do.
Like literally anything property related, and
Yeah.
binge watching it to death. And obviously anything kind of New York based. So I had watched all 10 seasons, and the last season she was in, and I just thought, I'm just going to message her. I'm just going to
why
message
not?
her on Instagram. I'm just going to see what happens. And I said, you know, I've got 17 years experience. I'm here with my husband and my family, and I'd love to work for you. And she's like, oh, well, come in and meet me. So I went in, I met her. A few interviews later, she offered me a position managing her sales team.
Wow.
Head of Agent Success was the official title. And yeah, I kind of started working for her in the Douglas Elliman offices on Madison Avenue. So
How crazy.
it was crazy. It was really
From
crazy.
an Instagram message,
From
from
an
a DM.
From a DM.
There you go, social media for you.
It's all about social media. So yeah, I started working for her and met an incredible group of agents, brokers. And, you know, if you want to talk about the broker model, no one does it better than New Yorkers.
Okay.
They are thinking outside of the box all the time of
Right.
ways to set themselves apart, build their own brand, be different, be unique. They are always networking, always. And I just, you know, learned so much from all of them, as well as Kirsten, you know, just worked so hard and were complete powerhouses. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a fantastic experience.
Great experience to
Yeah.
have.
And because of that, when I moved back, I thought, right, this is what I want to do now. And I want to do it here. And I want to take all those learnings
Yeah.
that I have, and also understanding the way that, you know, a state agency works here, and flip it on its head, offer something different,
Yeah.
be more creative, and, you know, be more personable, and give people what they need for the, you know, during the experience of buying and selling.
Yeah, exactly. And then I can see that from your socials because I know that you love the creative side and the interiors.
Yes.
And so you're doing a bit of assisting
Yes.
your clients on staging and stuff like that.
Yes.
And how do you like that element of it?
Oh, I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
That like sings to my heart. There are moments where I'm like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm so grateful.
And how does a question I've always wanted to ask generally when I see a bit of staging going on,
Yeah.
because obviously when you look, I mean, you can probably sometimes tell the difference when you're looking at photos for lettings compared to sales.
Yes,
So
yeah.
if you're renting a property,
Yeah.
trying to let it out, and there are tenants in, and you go
Yeah.
in to do the photos,
Yeah.
you've got to do the photos
Yeah.
how it is,
Yeah.
and then obviously beautifully staged sale photos. But how do you broach that with those clients
It's
to make sure that they're not?
offended.
Yeah.
It's really difficult, but you've got to be honest.
Yeah, of course.
Because so many agents just go in and say, "Oh yeah, it's fine," and they'll come in with a they won't even turn up to be alongside the photographer when they're doing it. They won't even be there. And then these substandard photos come back and they wonder why they haven't sold it 3 months later.
Yeah.
And there's so much to be said for putting in that time for the photography. And yeah, I really enjoy that element of it. And I'm very, very honest with people. And I say, listen, you know, don't take offense, but let's take this down. Let's remove these.
Let's make it cleaner and neater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in my cushions.
I've seen you, I've seen a clip of you like carrying cushions to a...
Literally across the road.
Yeah, amazing. I love it.
You know what? There was a listing that was on the market for 5 months with a local agent, and they had very little activity. The photos were so sad, and you know there were active people looking in the area who didn't even see the listing.
Yeah.
And then I came in and I put in a lot of energy and effort, dragged my stuff across the street and staged it, got some fantastic photography, and I've sold it 3 weeks later.
Amazing.
So
Fabulous.
it works.
Yeah, exactly.
It really works.
And so actually in lockdown time when we were still working here, and I started to do more in the area that I work, because we actually started to do some social distance doorstep ID checks.
Oh,
but I love
yes.
working in our area, in my area that I live in, which I know you do as well. Because
Yes.
just having that extra knowledge,
Yes.
and you can say to people, well, yeah, I live 4 streets away, or I know that street that you live on, like I can help you. That's valuable as well, yeah?
So valuable, and everything is intertwined. So what I was saying about how the American brokers work, of how they're always networking, that's kind of similar to how I operate, because when I'm picking up the kids from school or nursery, you're having a chat and suddenly someone says, oh, I'm really struggling to sell my house. And then you're like, well, let me help you. And it's very organic. You know, I don't want to ever be pushy or kind of say, you know, this is what I do. I want people to come to me who can see what I'm doing, the impact and the difference that I'm having, and want to be a part of that so I can work with them, not for them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I think school drops and parent groups, etc.
Yes.
I think they're a wealth of
Yes.
how work comes into it. I know that a couple in our team get work from the school groups and stuff like that, because it's people that are of the same, etc., aren't they? Like with the kids of similar age, and they're going to chat to you.
And you know their life, you know how busy they are, you know what they're juggling, so you can come in and help them on a completely different level to a kind of high street agent who, you know, are in their 20s and they have a different life, you know, it's very, very different. But yes, you know, when the kids are doing their rugby in the common or the swimming or whatever, that's really my networking, and it's really valuable time.
And one thing that I saw recently, which we've chatted about, which again was a community thing, was the fabulous story of, is it Elephant?
Elephant.
Please tell me. You ended up on BBC News, yeah?
Oh my God, this was hilarious. This was hilarious. I know you were following the story. But yeah, my son dropped his elephant on his way home, okay? I know, I mean, it was awful. It was very traumatic in our household, and I know anybody listening with children will understand that. If you don't have children, you'll be like, what is this woman on about? Yeah. And you'll be like, what do you want? Anyway, but yeah, we came home, realised it wasn't there, and I was out at the time. I got news that elephant was missing. So I started trawling Clapham Common at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not even kidding. I went to the nursery. The cleaners were in.
So you retraced all your steps.
Yeah, literally. Checked everywhere, checked bins, checked side streets, checked everywhere. So I put together a post, put it on my social media, and my husband was like, I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah,
There's
crazy.
no way. You're like a crazy woman. So he's like trying to Google how to get a new one, and I'm like still...
Replacement elephant.
I'm like, I'm not ready to move on yet.
You want original. You want the OG back.
You want the OG. So I'm having a look, and then I decide to put this post together, and I tagged one of the biggest Clapham accounts who have a huge number of followers, and I was like, look, it's worth a try. They reposted it, and as well as a few others, and literally the next morning by 8 a.m. I had a message in my inbox saying, is this him? And there was a picture of Elephant sitting in the window of the butcher's
I mean, that's just fabulous.
on the other side of the common.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so somebody had obviously seen the post on their way to work, seen it in the window, took a photo, sent it to them. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's Elephant.
That's
and then
amazing.
it ended up on the BBC. I obviously documented all of it because I couldn't help myself.
Yeah, of course. And we loved it. We loved watching it and listening.
Everyone got quite invested.
Yeah,
It was sweet. And then obviously, we got him back, and we reunited my little one with the elephant, and then
he's still safe.
still
Elephant.
safe to
He's
this
still
day.
good.
He's a home elephant now.
No,
He's
yeah,
a house elephant.
He doesn't wander far
He
now.
doesn't leave. We're like, no, what are you doing? No. Put him back in
Amazing.
bed.
I love it. So part of your journey, I don't think we cannot mention how we first started working together.
Yes.
And two of the most prolific London developments that there still are. So should we talk about them a bit? Because they've helped kind of frame where you are now as well.
100%,
Yeah. So where did you used to work?
Okay, so where I first met you, Battersea Power Station.
Yeah.
So I had been working in agency for 9 years at this point. And I was offered this role to be a sales manager for Battersea Power Station, but basically dealing with people wanting to reassign their contracts.
Yeah.
So people who had bought off plan and wanted to flip them, reassign them prior to completion. And they wanted to take out the money that they put down plus some uplift in terms of how much it had gone up in value. So I was brought in to kind of head up the team. And so that was a fantastic experience. And that is where I met you, in the porter cabin, next to the power station, back in 2014.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I reckon it will be around then.
Yeah.
And you were there for quite a few years, loved it there?
I did 4 years there, and it was an incredible experience. Nothing could have kind of come close to what that gave me.
Yeah.
I felt so blessed and so grateful to be there. But then it came to the point where there was a natural time for me to move on, because I wanted to progress with my career, and there wasn't any opportunity for me to move up. So then I was headhunted to move to Argent, which is now related, Argent. So they are the developers that did King's Cross.
Yeah.
And obviously when I moved there, I had to get you involved.
Yes.
Because I was like, okay, you're not working with Doug. We've got to fix this. So I was the head of sales for them. So I was looking after 7 buildings in King's Cross, and then also did some work in Tottenham Hale and Brent Cross as well.
But amazing experience, which obviously then naturally, the New York thing that we've spoken about was just family, husband's job, but then led you to work there as well.
Yes.
So it's lovely to have seen your progression over these years and still be working with you and, being watching your journey as well as Elephant's journey.
I know.
Let's talk a little bit just about transactions then and get into the nitty gritty of it.
All right.
Because we're working on a couple of things currently. What do you really see as a good seller or a buyer when the clients are coming to you? What do you want them to know on day one? What do they know already? What do you see as the perfect seller or buyer, or do you have to work with them for them to become that?
I think you can tell quite quickly if somebody's serious.
Yeah.
Both seller and
sides.
buyer. On both sides. I think a buyer needs to be looking for a little while. Maybe they've missed out on something and they realise they need to move quickly. And I think a good agent can spot that quite fast. It's not to say that the buyers who've just started won't become great buyers. Of course they will, but of course they need to see a few places first. They need a level of comparison. So really the buyers that are ready to go have just missed out on something, and they are, they don't want to miss out again. So they have their mortgage offer in principle, they've perhaps chosen a solicitor or are open to one being referred to them, and are ready to go. And then the same applies to a seller. So a seller who, either that's been on the market a while and just ready to move on, and they've had a bad experience and now they're like, come on, we need your help, let's get this sold. Or somebody who, somebody who's motivated because something has changed in their life, meaning they need to either buy something bigger or smaller.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Life changes.
Life changes. So they have, I have a situation at the moment, a 2-bedroom flat, and they've got 2 children, and they're like, we need to move. We need a
quickly.
house. Of course
And sometimes
you do.
on those examples, I quite often have it that maybe not so much now at time of recording in August, but sometimes maybe like May, June, it's like, we need to move by end of August for schools. We need to be in that other catchment area. That's such an important thing for families sometimes, isn't it?
It is. There's so many factors to have to weigh up and kind of bear in mind. Yes. And schools,
one of them.
Schools and moving at the right time of year is one of them. That's why obviously the kind of sales market for houses tends to slow down in August, because they're either already moving or they're waiting till September.
Yeah, September we then have the rush again, because then it becomes, dare I say the word, it becomes the pre-Christmas moving in. We want to have family Christmas in the new home. And, you're working on a 2 to 3 month, hopefully, of a good transaction time.
Correct.
And then, if they're getting offers accepted around that time in September, we can make it happen by Christmas for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, my next question, dare I ask it? I'm going to do it anyway.
Go on.
What do you think makes a good solicitor in the transaction, or what frustrates you? Let's just be open, because
frustrates you?
Sometimes we can get frustrated. Solicitors get frustrated with agents with solicitors.
Of course.
We all get from time to time can be frustrated.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's an open channel between. But
course.
what do you find is either a good or a frustrating point?
So for me, I always refer you because I know you communicate so well. So I know that if I message you, you'll come back to me.
Yeah.
So I always say, look, you should reach out to Doug and strongly consider using you. The communication is number one. I've really struggled to deal with solicitors that are kind of like, conveyor belt solicitors, where there's a reference number and it's, you have to speak to a certain person at a certain time, and you just, it's difficult to work with that type of company.
It's all, sometimes I'll be honest with my clients when they say, well, you've given me it's a price point though, isn't it?
Yes.
And sometimes people have to go to that price. I don't mind it.
I get
And
that.
there's equally, I'll stand up for them as well. There's equally good ones at that type of firm as well.
Yes.
But it can be, it just slows it down a little bit, I think, doesn't it?
It does. And also, you get what you pay for. This is an important thing. You're moving house, and, although it might seem like a bit more now, if it's the difference between it happening or not happening, you do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Good advice. What has been maybe one of the most memorable transactions? That could be some lovely clients recently, or like a crazy price point. I mean, maybe in New York.
I can talk crazy price point in New York. We were selling an apartment overlooking Central Park for 35 million.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy, yeah?
It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. I don't think it was worth 35 million, but it was absolutely gorgeous. The views were breathtaking. And obviously Central Park, just as it changes through the seasons, you get that view as it goes through the seasons and as it changes, and it was so beautiful.
Yeah. And so do you think then that if for the process that you apply to any of your clients, buyers or sellers, would that change at all, do you think, if you are doing the 35 million or the 550 garden flat?
No, I don't change how I am with clients at all. Yeah. And I think that's the right way to be.
Key. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A client, I mean, they might be selling a £550 flat, not 550,000 flat now, but who knows what they'll be doing in 10 years' time.
Yeah,
you want to keep
them.
them.
You never know. Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's really important.
On our side, on the legal side, we do treat any client as, we want to get that family in as a client as they grow through. And I've had lots of clients that have bought flats, first-time buyer flats, and then the next stage is they're in a couple and they're both selling a flat and they're buying a house, then they're buying a bigger house, and you can watch, and they come back. And what also is sometimes quite nice is you'll be acting for clients, and then they introduce their children, say, oh, my son or daughter's buying a flat, can you do that?
Doug, you're not that old.
I know, I'm way old, but it's so nice. and then also, we see their life growing and progressing as well.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
love
nice, and you
that.
want to capture that. You want them to remember
Yeah.
your name exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, let's change tact a bit. What about your personal property particulars? It's
Oh,
called property
yes.
particulars. So I mean, I already know.
I was going to say, Doug,
I
you
already
know all about that.
But you have bought and sold before because I
Yes.
helped you do that.
Indeed.
What was it like? Although I didn't help you buy your first flat, that
first
was
one.
somewhere else. So what was it
Yes.
like buying a property just being a buyer only, then compared to doing the sale and the purchase? I can't remember, was it at the same time or not, your sale and purchase?
Yes, it was.
it
The
simultaneous?
ones that you
Yeah.
dealt with were, yes. Gosh, I always say just try not to get too emotionally attached until you've exchanged.
Yeah.
And so obviously my kind of sensible head is just, be cool, do what you can, do the best you can. And if it happens, amazing. If it doesn't, it's okay. But obviously when it's yourself, you're always a little bit more emotionally attached, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
You can't not be. This is
Yeah.
a big deal. People buying and selling, yes, it's transactional, but I think the difference of the way I work versus perhaps some other agents is I really understand the emotion behind buying and selling.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and unfortunately, I couldn't just turn that off.
Yeah. Well, I remember, I think you were a lovely client. I don't remember
You
any
think?
stress
I
points.
hope so.
I'm sure you were. I'm sure you were. I don't remember any tears or anything like that. So I think we were all good.
Good.
We always laugh actually when we talk about this, because when I bought my property here in London and John was doing the legal work for me,
Yeah.
he laughs all the time, says I was a horrific client.
Oh, really? Oh.
So sometimes lawyers make the worst clients.
Oh, I
and I
bet.
am an example of
Surprised
that
you
as well.
ever managed to buy anything.
Yeah, exactly. And then you rented the house out, and then you come back to it as well.
We rented it while we were away.
So you've got the personal experience of lettings and sales and purchases as well.
Yeah, it was really nice to come home, and I was like, okay, that's great. It's actually fine. A family's been here with the dog, but it's fine. We'll just get the whole place painted, and it was lovely to move home.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's change tact again a little bit. So a
Yeah.
few fun questions to end up.
Go on.
And let's bring it back to maybe Clapham, but London and the area that you live in. So where would you go, for example, where's the best coffee to get in Clapham?
So I have this little place that I go to.
Yeah.
A little shout out for New Ground in Abbeyville. On Abbeyville Road, and it's so friendly, and you see all the same faces there, and that's another reason why I just love the area that I'm in, because it feels like there's a community.
Lovely.
And let's face it, the more you put into the community, the more you get out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go there and I work, and they've got a yoga studio, Pilates studio next door, and they do amazing matcha lattes, which I'm kind of a little bit addicted to. So I need to kind of, probably learn how to make them at home.
So you do your yoga there if you're not doing it out on the common, which I've seen you do.
I do miss yoga outside. I used to do yoga in Central Park, and it was the best experience. But yes, I do occasionally. A friend of mine is a yoga instructor there, so yeah, she does a little 7:15.
Oh my God, that's far too early.
Yeah,
That's
but
far
when
too
you've
early
got
for it.
toddlers.
Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly.
I've been up since 5:30.
Oh my goodness.
No, I
What
know.
about the best place to maybe go for a Sunday roast?
Oh, Brooks. Brooks is my favourite.
Yeah.
Again, it's on Abbeyville Road. There is a theme here. Yeah. I live in Abbeyville in Clapham, and I just love Abbeyville Road.
Cool. All right, well, I'll need to come and you need to show me around then. 'Cause I
Yes.
don't think
Yeah.
I've been to Abbeyville particularly. I've been to Clapham.
Yeah.
But obviously,
Oh, well,
you know,
you're
what do you
missing
think
out.
about that north-south divide?
Oh, yeah,
Like, because I am North London, and
I
like, it's
know.
rare that I'll go down to south.
So when I moved to London, I was in North London, and then I moved south, and I was like, oh, south is better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I love it. I love it. What about, last question then, what about if you
Yeah.
had friends visiting you from outside of London,
Yeah.
a whole day's activity, what would you do?
Oh my goodness.
Out and about.
I've got my sister coming down in October.
There we
They've
go.
got kids, and I'm trying to think about something to do. Maybe get on a boat down the Thames.
Yeah.
You
It's got to be something to
know.
entertain the kids then, if you'll have lots of kids there.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm like, how can you confine them somehow? We were just going to go to a climbing wall, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Just,
Excellent.
yeah.
Katherine, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Property Particulars podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been so fun.
Good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. Please join us again soon for another episode of Property Particulars podcast, and make sure you catch any previous episodes on YouTube or Spotify. And please also check out our Instagram, which is at Leicester Aldridge Property. And Katherine, what is your Instagram? Let's do a shout out for that as well.
Shout out for my Instagram at Katherine Wilson Property.
Thank you, Katherine.
Thank you.
Thanks.